Hey, there's a high probability that if you're watching this video you know about the recent drama surrounding Dream and the official Moderator Analysis video on Geosquare's channel. If not, you either probably know who Dream is or have no clue at all what's going on. Just in case, let me give a quick summary of the whole drama currently happening. Dream is a very large YouTube channel with over 10 million subscribers who plays Minecraft and is popular for his manhunt videos surrounding the game. After going big on YouTube, he decided to try out the speedrunning category in Minecraft, where the objective is to complete the game in the fastest time possible. Dream has gotten a world record run a total of 3 times, all being verified and legitimized on the respected speedrunning website speedrun.com. This website includes many other games, not only Minecraft, and each game has speedrun categories, and these categories have moderators who have professional knowledge of the game, specifically the act of speedrunning the game they moderate. Now let's talk about the controversy. In short, Dream submitted the 5th place run to speedrun.com in the Minecraft version 1.16, and the run was deemed not valid by the Minecraft Java speedrunning team due to suspicion that Dream tampered with his game log to receive favorable odds. Understandably, Dream was ticked off that they would assume such a thing, so he disputed it. The MC speedrunning team then released their analysis of the Dream situation, providing evidence for them to suspect that Dream may have cheated in his 1.16 speedruns. At the time of this recording, Dream has yet to respond and is in the works of creating a response. One more thing before I begin this video, I am not in favor of any sides. I may seem a bit biased in favor of the speedrunning team in this video, but that's simply because Dream hasn't released a statement yet. So the analysis is solely based off what the speedrunning team has put out. I will release an analysis of Dream's response when it releases if this video gets enough recognition. I enjoy Dream's content a lot and also don't have anything against the MC speedrunning team, and I'll explain my personal verdict at the end of the video. Now that I have summarized the situation, I'll be analyzing the controversy and more specifically the video uploaded on Geosquare's channel and exploring every argument and counter-argument and giving my insight on the situation. Let's get into it. The video begins with a quick introduction that I will not comment on, as I have already covered what the controversy is about. For the sake of this video, I will be referring to the Minecraft speedrunning team as just Geosquare, to make it easier to understand. Geosquare begins by talking about a post created by the Twitter user MineCravenger. In this post, the user displays information of data he's collected over 6 consecutive live streams from Dream. After many moderators of the speedrunning team reviewed this data, they found out that Dream's luck when bartering with piglins was quite exceptional, yielding a total of 42 successful pearl trades out of 262, the average being 12 out of 262. More specifically, this rate of pearl trades is much larger than the rates from other well-respected runners. He then talks about looking at some basic statistics to compare Dream's pearl trades to other runners, doing this by displaying the data on a binomial distribution graph, something I've never heard of. You may be confused of where my analysis is. I'll give my insight after we reach the most crucial part of the controversy. For now, bear with me here. In the video, they decide to explain binomial distribution through the act of flipping a coin, and decide to plot the probability of the likeliness of getting a certain amount of heads in 10 flips on a binomial distribution graph. If you're not familiar with this graph, it's very similar to a bar chart, however it's used to display the probability of certain things happening. In this graph used in the video, we see that the x-axis displays the amount of different possible outcomes of getting different amounts of heads in 10 coin flips. Here we see that on the y-axis, it displays the probability of each outcome happening. So we see on the graph that the probability has no correlation and that getting 0 heads in 10 flips has almost if not the same probability of getting 10 heads in 10 flips. Geosquare then goes on to explain that if we wanted to know the probability of getting 6 heads or more in 10 flips, all we would need to do is stack the latter probabilities to find out the probability. Now let's talk about the most important part of the situation: Dream's odds. This is pretty much the main part of the controversy. In the Geosquare video, they compared Dream's odds to well-known and respected speedrunner Illumina HD. The reason they chose Illumina specifically is because out of all high-level speedrunners, they noticed Illumina has considerably high luck too, however not as high as Dream. Illumina managed to pull off 20 successful pearl trades out of 323. The odds of getting this would be 0.09%. Although to any viewer, this may seem like a small percentage and a slim chance, as said in the video, any statistician would say that this is a small statistical deviation. Or to be more clear, it may be rare, but it's not exactly logically impossible, meaning somebody could play the game on stream a few times and actually get this kind of luck. The odds that Dream managed to garner a successful 42 pearl trades out of 262 is Geosquare did not read this in the video, so let me quickly read it for you. 0.00000000. Okay, I think you can see why he didn't read it out. An easy way to display this information would be through displaying the odds instead. The odds of this being 1 in 177 billion. As said in the video, this is not a good look for Dream. After studying different streams, they managed to create this graph of Dream's luck compared to other high-level speedrunners, which also shows how rare it really is to get this kind of luck. Now let's get started on my analysis. Now, before I begin my analysis, I want you to acknowledge that I'm not a statistician, nor is probability my strong point. However, many of you would be familiar with the saying that 2 heads are better than 1, and me simply commenting on this controversy helps some people who may not have known the details understand it more. Everything I've said so far is pretty much solid evidence and facts, things you as a viewer cannot really dispute. However, the rest of the controversy I'll be talking about now isn't really exact facts. Although they may seem very convincing mathematically and logically, there is still possibility that these arguments can be proved wrong in some way. So although I say some arguments are proved wrong, don't take my words for granted. The first counter-argument from Dream is that there is examining bias. The first point is the stopping rule, and that when Dream stopped streaming and started to do his speedruns and recording, when the moderators examined Dream's luck, it was substantial because there was a big jump from Dream getting regular runs recorded on streams to his one submitted good run, which he managed to achieve after attempting many times offline. To counteract the first point, Geosquare corrects this bias by changing the odds of 1 in 177 billion to 1 in 82 billion, which is still a huge number. Since even after correcting the bias the odds are still significantly large, this counter-argument is proved wrong. The next counter-argument is that Dream believes that the data displaying his probability was cherry-picked by the moderators with some selection bias, or he was selected amongst other runners for the sole reason he had more noticeable RNG. As said in the video, more simply, what Dream is saying is, they noticed my luck was really high, so when they checked it and found out my luck was really high, the data doesn't count because it's biased. Now, Geosquare talks about why this is incorrect, however it's time for me to step in and give in my own input. Although I can't really give an answer to do with probability as I honestly don't know much in this field, if you want to hear Geosquare's response, the video will be linked in the description, I'll be giving a more logically sided response from my side. Well, firstly, the data is in fact biased. Even Geosquare admits this in the video. However, the bias isn't strong enough to completely refute the possibility that Dream cheated to make his probability higher. Quite frankly, the fact that they noticed his luck was really high when reviewing the footage and ended up investigating it and still found out that luck is extremely high shows that their suspicion was correct. Although biased, you can't refute the fact that the probability is suspicious. Also, when they decided to further investigate Dream's probability during his run, and even after investigating they still found the luck to be extremely high, this shows that something is obviously wrong. And if their suspicion was incorrect and the investigation led to no suspicious odds, then I wouldn't be making this video right now. Although you can see my response as a way to counteract the counter-argument, we can also further imply that even after correcting for the bias to the point that it's slightly in the favor of Dream, we still get sizable odds regardless. Another thing Geosquare talks about is Dream's blaze rod drop luck. You would think that if Dream truly didn't tamper with his luck, then the end upper drop rate would be the only suspicious factor during his run. However, after investigating other RNG-based game mechanics, specifically his drop rate of blaze rods from blazes, they discovered that the odds of him getting the blaze drop rate he got during his 1.16 runs is 1 in 113 billion. I don't need to tell you that this is an insane chance for you to understand that Dream's odds throughout the entire run is uncanny. The chances for Dream's run happening legitimately with the blaze and end upper drop rate luck is 1 in 678 trillion. After making up for p-hacking due to the idea that someone malicious may have cherry-picked the data, Geosquare divides 678 trillion by 90 and makes up for the potential bias and gets the odds 1 in 7.5 trillion. Again, this is still a ridiculously large number. I think you get the gist of what Geosquare's video is meant to entail. He shows constantly that even after correcting for the bias, one of Dream's main counter-arguments of the speedrunning team's investigation, we still get insane odds. To put it into perspective, somebody can go a whole lifetime without having a single instance where they receive the same odds as Dream, and the possibility of someone not having his odds ever throughout their entire lifetime isn't slim either. It's quite likely that even you watching may never get odds similar to that of Dream's during his run, making it more suspicious. Now let's get to Dream's counter-argument to the significant odds throughout the entire run and not only the end upper drop rate odds. The next counter-argument Dream has is that the game may be glitched, or Java is weird when it comes to randomness, and that Java random may be biased in some way. If you're not familiar with the talk in Java, Java is a programming language used to code Minecraft. I cannot provide a logically sided analysis to this argument, because the answer to this counter-argument has to be explained by somebody who's familiar with the JavaScript language, and I think Geosquare explains this very well, so I'll play the small part of his video just to answer this counter-argument.
On our team are some really experienced experts on Java randomness, especially applied to Minecraft, and they have all found that there's no way that Java could have just accidentally done any of this. The way Java works is that anytime a random action occurs, it scrambles some numbers internally, so the next random result will look different. The thing with Minecraft is that there are only a few different random generators that account for all the random outcomes, so each action is pretty contingent on the entire environment. I'm sure a question that some people might be asking is that if the per luck and the blaze luck was high, couldn't that mean that both use the same faulty random generator? The problem here is that bartering and blazes actually use distinct generators. Blazes use the entity random, while barters use the world random, which mean they're completely separate and have no way of interacting. Let's take a closer look at pearl trades for example though. While bartering, the player's in the nether. What else is in the nether? Lava. Lava also happens to use the world generator, just like the pearls, and there are thousands upon thousands of lava blocks constantly shifting the random generator all over the place, which makes it an extremely entropic environment. Since there is this entropy background radiation, in the time between pearl trades, the RNG is completely scrambled, and the amount of scrambling is random itself, which makes it impossible to have any continued interplay between strings of barters. Additionally, there are just some mathematical reasons that mean pearl drops can't influence one another, so there's really no way these numbers could just be the code's fault.
The rest of the video explains how and why Dream would cheat in a speedrun. Well, how he would cheat is quite simple. Dream used the Fabric API in his run to run Minecraft. His reason being is that he needed it to use an FPS booster called Sodium. Sodium is like Optifine, a respected program that isn't malicious in any way. The use of Sodium isn't the problem, however. The problem is the use of Fabric. Fabric API is a mod loader just like the more popular mod loader Forge. Mod loaders are allowed in speedrunning as in verified runs it's needed to run the FPS booster Sodium, and any other mods that help with FPS. However, with non-validified runs, the use of Fabric is seen as suspicious, as with Fabric you are able to add modifications in the game, some of those being in favor of the speedrunner and in favor of helping them get the world record they want in Minecraft. Let's assume Dream was cheating. The way he would do this according to the substantial odds displayed is by using a mod that increases his chances with RNG based mechanics that are included during a Minecraft run. You may ask, how would he be able to do this while streaming? Well, to any casual Minecraft player watching, it will be pretty much impossible to figure out he's using a mod which boosts his odds, as this would be implemented into his mods folder before the beginning of the stream, and whatever odds he would get during the stream would look feasible as data regarding his odds are still being created and nobody watching the stream would know that after analyzing the streams, his odds would be that high. So then, isn't it simple? Why doesn't Dream just send his mod profile at the time of the 1.16 speedrun to the moderators, since that's the most likely way that he cheated? Well, there's the problem. In the Geosquare video, he explains that the reason Dream didn't give the mod profile is because Dream stated that he deletes the contents of his mod folder regularly. However, Geosquare corrects himself with an edit to the description of the video and says that Dream instead deleted the specific speedrun 1.16 mod profile out of frustration with the investigation as a whole. There's really nothing we can do about this. We could say that it is suspicious that Dream did such a thing, as it's one of the only evidence Dream could provide to prove he didn't use a malicious mod during the speedrun. However, it is believable that he deleted the over frustration as well, and there's no way for us to truly find out the reason he deleted this 1.16 speedrun mod profile. So for now, the argument that he deleted the mod profile to hide it from the speedrunning team stays neutral. The last thing I'll be talking about is why he would do such a thing. This part of the video is purely stemming from my own thoughts and opinions and has no factual evidence regarding whether Dream cheated or not. Now, the argument many fans will have is that he's already good at speedrunning, so why would he cheat? Well, as said nicely in Geosquare's video, Dream is well known for speaking out against the increased RNG in the new 1.16 Minecraft update. The knowledge and skill a person has at a game isn't negatively correlated with whether they would cheat or not, meaning that if anything, in some cases it makes them more likely to cheat. When a skilled player is going for a run and they don't get the odds they want, they feel ripped off by the game, and as a skilled player they believe they deserve more from the time and skill they put into the game. This then leads to them sometimes cheating. Although we do not know whether Dream cheated or not during his speedrun, it is safe to say there is a considerable chance that he may have. I also believe the backlash he is getting is unfair and the publicity around the controversy wasn't needed from the speedrunning team. In my opinion, both sides, meaning the Dream fans and the general percentile of the public who are not fans of Dream, should not jump to conclusions so quickly, especially since Dream is yet to release his response. I'm sure you've definitely heard of the saying, innocent until proven guilty. You may think, doesn't Geosquare's video prove him guilty? Well, not necessarily. Like I said earlier in this video, any of the arguments are yet to be fully proved. Even if we end up figuring out he actually cheated, this doesn't change the fact that his content is fun to watch, and I think that if we end up finding out that he cheated, the community shouldn't cancel him as a whole, as him cheating and speedrunning doesn't mean he's the bad person, and he can just simply leave speedrunning and continue with other things he is doing currently. Because honestly, speedrunning isn't really the biggest part of Dream's channel. All we can really do as viewers is wait for Dream's response and see what there is to unfold in this controversy. Well, on the same topic as probability, there's a high chance you aren't subscribed. Okay, I won't make the joke, even I am pretty worn out by the whole theme of probability, so why don't I make it quick and easy for you watching? If you have watched this far, thanks. If you enjoyed this video and found it factual and interesting, why don't you drop a like and subscribe while you're at it? I know you've heard this a million times, but it helps out my channel a lot and gives me more motivation to release more well-edited videos such as this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.